Oh, okay. Today, we have two wonderful people to talk relationship with us. First of all, we have back Mylira Green. Let me see, Mylira Green. Hey, mama, live from your car. Come on with your bad self. Tell them all them letters again. LASWCC.
So I'm a licensed clinical social worker and I'm a certified complex trauma professional.
Trauma professional.
Yes.
I like that. I needed you last night. No, I'm just joking. All right. I'll be playing with people. I play more than I'm fussing. I'm really playing, y'all. And she's not by herself. We didn't get Zoe Williams in today. He's on another project. But we have another great gentleman who's down with relationships. His name is Mr. Van Brown. Van Brown in the house. Woo, woo, woo. We try to get all our colors in. We got the green. We got the brown. Welcome to the show, guys. How y'all doing today?
Very, very good. Thank you so much for having us.
Now, I have y'all on here to talk about romantic relationships, but I ain't even talk about that first situation. No more today. Whew, it's out of my system. Now let's move forward. Relationships. We said we're gonna let people ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody in the chat who have relationship questions, we got you. Stacey said it's relationship time. Be here to support. Welcome. Okay, all right. I don't have the question up yet, so I will start. What is the best way? And I'm going to ask Mylira first, but what's the best way to approach a woman the first time? If a man really sees a lady he really likes, because I don't think we know a proper approach, and so many approaches are wrong that you get there and you get shut down and you think it's about you, but it was, I think, a lot of times our approach. So what is there a proper approach? And I see you already ready, Mylira, so I need to ask Van, is there a proper approach to a young lady the first time? How do you meet? You at the club, you at the store, wherever? What is there a proper approach?
Really, really great question. I think well, the intention is always to meet a friend. And so if you're trying to meet a friend, then the greatest thing you could ever do is to be genuine. I think we make a mistake in coming with all kind of niches and all kind of ways of trying to manipulate. But if you just authentically be yourself and ask your name, and allow the authenticity of the conversation to just naturally flow. But if you come with a gimmick or a sense of manipulation, it's going to be exposed in the moment. So I would say just be your natural self and just questions.
And ask questions.
Yeah.
I like that. But now the problem is sometimes in trying to meet a young lady, you ask too many questions. By the time you get to your third question. So is this an interrogation? I'm like, no, how do I get to know you if I don't ask questions about you and you ask questions about me? Mylira, what's your approach? What would be the best approach for a man? And nowadays,
I'm
scared too of each other too. So you got to keep that in mind. All right, go ahead.
I was going to piggyback off of Van there because I'm a believer that you just have to let life happen. I think we calculate things so much that it actually messes up stuff. So a way to eliminate this like investor gadget feeling, if it's a genuine friendship, if you just allow for it to open up, then it really just depends. Like I really love this comment here. It says depend on the woman or girl in the situation you're meeting. Like sometimes you might meet somebody at a bar. Like normally people are used to people just coming up and introducing yourself. But if you're at Walmart and you just happen to ask somebody to, hey, can you grab that for me? Because I'm a little too short, and then grab it, that may spark a conversation. So I think if we're just open to the natural flow of just life, then it will allow for us to not put so much pressure on ourselves.
Okay, so I like that. Just go up and say hi, because you can probably gauge from when you're just saying hello to a person whether they're feeling you or whether they're open to you or whatever based on their immediate response.
Right.
So if you just come in and be, as you say, genuine, just be yourself and say, hey, how are you today? But it's so much fear out here now. People don't want you to talk to them. Remember, we used to slow dance. We used to hold each other. You better not touch me. Get your hands. So people, we used to walk past each other and speak on the street. Black people used to speak to each other. You better not say nothing, nigga. I don't know you, nigga. What you represent? What's your set? You know. So with all this fear about, what I would say, where is the best place to meet somebody if you're looking forward to, you're trying to meet somebody, you're tired of being alone. Where's the best place?
I would say frequent places that bring you genuine joy and happiness. I think we talked about this last week. Like, if you are a person that church is your everything, you may find your person at church. If you are a person where art is your way of communication, you may want to actually go to I know in my local area we have like candle making classes, and there are some singles that go to make candles just to meet new people. You can utilize, there's this website, and y'all know I always come with some type of resource, Eventbrite. Eventbrite is really great, and they are normally in every different city, and it's not just to purchase tickets for people events, but you can go up there and see, do they have social groups? Do they have something that you actually like? I tell people, start on social media. If I start on social media, and sorry for the noise, if I start on social media, then sometimes that decrease some of my anxiety. So join Facebook groups on interests that you actually like. Start to engage with people, and then start seeing, okay, do I actually mesh with this person's energy? And then before you know it, it's going to build some type of a connection. And sometimes friendships will morph into that thing that you're looking for.
What do you feel is a great place, Van?
Yeah, everything she said is so amazing. And I think one of the great things too is someone who truly loves themselves will always seek higher learning. So seminars where people are going to learn communication, to learn the art of better how to manage their money. These are great places where people are intentionally interrupting their time to learn valuable information. So in those kind of settings, you're always going to find people who have a high, what I would say, wisdom in terms of wrestling through and managing relationships. So that would be a great, healthy place in order to start.
Oh, I like that. You know, I think stores. I like stores. I think like really like grocery stores are real, especially a healthy store. The healthier the store, the better. Like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, because when you walk in there, you're looking at women who, at least men, we're looking at women who really care about their health. They care about their physique. They care about how they look. That's how they carry themselves. So that's just one of the spots I would think. I would think church, like you said. I think church would be a great place if you have an open heart and you really, are looking for love. Are looking for, even if not love, for just relationship or companionship. Somebody said, Rosemary said, I love when passing Black people you don't know, they still speak to you. If you were a non-Black person, I would immediately ask, do you know them? But we shouldn't have to know each other. We should speak, because we are a people and we in the same stuff. Are we dealing with all the same shit? And we should all be supportive of each other. But I like that. What do you think about rallies? Because I think that's a great place to meet somebody. If you go to one of these rallies, because everybody's amped up, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's energy is high, and there's some type of positivity, even if they're there to complain about something. There's a drive that brought these people here, and I just think your energy is sparking when you're in that kind of place. If it was me and I was looking to meet somebody, though I ain't never looking again in my life because I'm set. But if I was looking, I would always go to a place where people love themselves. You know what I'm saying? There's certain places where you just know these people here because they really dig themselves. They dig life. You got some people who frown every day and all day long. They haven't found the spark yet. But the spark, the joy is within all of us. And we always can access it. But a lot of us choose not to. So I want to go with people smiling. If I was going to meet somebody, I want to see people smiling, laughing, sitting them the people. I'm not talking to no sullen mother. Your face is low. Les Brown, the motivational speaker, tells the story of a man that got fired because his boss didn't like the way he looked. He said, you've been around your whole life. You can see that shit on your face. After you 40, you're responsible for your face. You know, get some shit. Get out of here. Because, you know, if you see people laugh like you have smile lines. You can see the laugh lines around your eyes. Because, let me step out the room. You coughing. Okay. Since COVID, if you cough on video, I'll run out the room. I'm just playing. Let me see if there's any questions. Somebody said Diamond is staking her opinion too out there. Bart, will you stop it? She just wants to be on the show. Okay. All right. I was just trying to see one more question. We don't have no real relationship question. Ain't nobody out there trying to do the stinking leg.
So I had one person's question, Michael, and they were asking, is it a no-brainer if one person wants a child and the other person doesn't? How do you deal with that conflict if you're in a relationship and there's that actually want children or want to have a family, another person in a relationship that doesn't? How do you navigate those spaces?
Wow.
Come on, Van.
See, this is the beauty of intentionality from the very beginning. So every man and woman has to set their intentions from the very beginning and lay them out carefully. You don't want to walk down the aisle or into any deep relationship assuming that the other person is going to go along with all of the things that you've dreamt of from you were a little child. And even now, if you're in the throes of it already, and now you're realizing that the need you have is not the need of the other, then you have to say to yourself, is this a deal breaker? And if it is a deal breaker, then you have to communicate that, because there are some men that I need to have a son or a daughter, and vice versa. There are some women that feel like this is something that I vitally need. This is something that I feel not only need, but is a divine thing. Ever since I was a little child, I dreamt of this son or this daughter. So if it is a deal breaker, then that has to be communicated, because you don't want to live your life now wondering what if.
Yeah. Or regretting
Right.
that you didn't do it. You know?
Right.
Yeah. So I guess the case is you got to match with like kind. You got to match up with people feeling the same way, you know, because if one wants a baby and the other doesn't, it's going to always be a problem. And I'm going to tell you, in my relationships, I feel like in each relationship, a certain amount of it I settled. But trust me, they did too. They settled with mine. I wasn't all that they wanted, but I had enough of it. And I think we do a lot of that. The other person don't have enough of it. We're like, oh, it's a nice booty and a nice rack on her, man. I wonder what she do. You know, you start assessing people, you know, but at the end of the day, you got to follow your heart. You know, you really, I mean, if you feel something for somebody, you follow the heart, and then you'll work with that person. Like me and my queen, we joke about it. You know, my baby's 54. I'm 66. We joke. If a baby come, what we gonna do? Oh my God, you know, but we would work it out. But if it's important to you to have that child and someone comes along and the other half and they don't, then y'all got to peacefully and kindly go about your business. Because somebody gonna be upset in the end because somebody didn't get what they want. The person who didn't want the child and got one is going to be upset about that. The person who wanted one and didn't get one is going to be upset. So it's got to be mutual. Love got to be mutual. Y'all got to get together and say, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And if you both agree, it's cool. And if not, well, that's when things start falling apart.
Right.
And that's what those questions come in line at. You know, sometimes we get overwhelmed with questions, but I'm a big believer that we have to start asking those important questions, because the wedding is not what's important, it's the marriage. We spend all this time planning a wedding, how I want it to look, my dress, who's going to be my bridesmaids, my groomsmen, spend thousands of dollars that we could spend on cards and stuff, but I ain't going to talk about nobody. But we do all this stuff, and then you get married, and I don't know who I really married because I was so afraid to bombard you with these questions. But these questions are important. Talking about kids, talking about money, talking about, do we want a blended family, not blended family? Are my parents allowed to come when I do have kids? Are they not? Like, these are questions that need to happen before you say I do. So when you do say I do, you don't eventually say I don't. And then it's like, dang, I should have did this when I first started. So really good things to use is, I don't know if anybody know the and game. There's these cards, a deck of cards, and you can ask just questions and go back and forth and really be able to learn one another. So when you're married, you can stay married.
Right.
Fun in the relationships keeps us going. They say those who play together stay together,
Mhm.
just like those who pray together stay together. So we get back down to love, we get back to God. If we got those two in the case and we really like that other person, we should be able to work it out, you know. But it's not a guarantee. Everything still comes down, as far as I'm concerned, to communications and relationships, and that's what everybody, that relationship I just ended today. It's between. It's about communications and relationships. Who you're talking to and how do you talk to them. That will determine how high you go in their hierarchy of who you are to them. What you mean to them is how you how you speak to people, how you talk to people. You know, so I just think that's some important stuff. Let me see. I'm just trying to see if there's one more question because we out of time because I took up all the time to top of the show. Hey, my baby said, "Great morning, Kaya Clan." It was. Oh, wow. Serena says these days you have to ask their sexual preference. The down low folks will make you hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, God. How important is honesty in a relationship?
Honesty is everything. And even when you are married, I'll give you an example. My husband and I, about 2 years ago, I was honest with him and I looked him in his face right before Thanksgiving. I said, babe, I actually like somebody. But I told him because the like that I had for this person wasn't because I wanted to be with that person. There was voids that ended up creating in our marriage because now we're parents. Now we're going to school. Now things are driving us apart. And that honesty helped save my marriage. And now the person that I liked, me, his family, his wife, his kids, my husband, we're all so close because it wasn't a relationship I wanted. It was a void that we had to communicate. If I didn't communicate that, I could have opened up the door to entertain things that could have tore up my family, tore up my marriage. So honesty is going to be the best policy. So if you want to DL, tell somebody. If you got the monkey, tell them. If you got kids, tell them all the kids and their names. Because when you do that, then nobody can use anything against you. So even with me and my marriage, when I first started dating my husband, I told him everybody I was intimate with, because I never wanted for somebody to come out and say, well, I know your wife. No, you don't, because I told him who I was with, why I was with them, what my trauma was. So that built a solid foundation for our relationship. So when things pop up, we are honest. We might be afraid, but we're honest and we work it out. And now we're able to go to forever. So honesty is the best policy in any relationship.
Right.
I pulled ate all the fries day up. I pulled up Cletus. Cause Cletus, you ain't in no relationship. You ain't got no relationship question.
No, I've already done one. I've been in one before, so I know everything about her, man. I choose to live happy. I already said if I ever get married, it's gonna be two different houses. She can live next door. I can live right here, like, because I need my space. I think that is important. You know what's funny when you talked about the honesty thing? Yesterday, I've been watching this show called Unprisoned. I don't know if you've seen Unprisoned. It's got Delroy Lindo and Kerry Washington and all 7,000 of the facial expressions she makes an episode. And Delroy Lindo explained to Kerry Washington that she wasn't the guy's main woman because he's completely honest with her. He's like, if he don't care enough about how you feel to be on to not lie, then you're not his main woman. It's so very interesting that you said, the key is being completely honest. Because I still think, and I still agree, honesty is the best policy, but sometimes you have to taper that honesty. I still feel like women can't handle the truth all the time. And I still think a lot of men can't handle the truth. I think it was a really bold move for you to be like, hey, these are the guys that I slept with. And you told them both of them and you moved on.
Way bold.
A lot of dudes is not able to handle that. Man, Van is a trained professional. He could probably deal with it. But if a woman comes to me and she was like, and she starts giving me that DMX song, it was Tommy, Sam, Jacob, and I'd be like, hey, I am out. A lot of men can't deal. Men have a hard time dealing with knowing. Every man wants to believe that his wife was a virgin, or that he's the best ever. Like it's a hard road for men to be like,
lie to me.
Tell me that lie. Make me feel like I'm the best you've ever had. Make me feel like there was nobody else before me. Like, men have a hard time dealing with, and that's a man thing, and it might be part of our toxic masculinity. But I know that if I walk up on a dude, it's always gonna be uncomfortable for me. If I'm in a room, me, you, and if we had a Suge Avery situation, I had a my way, you had a yours. I, I already know that is rough. That is rough.
I have to have a relationship. That's the way I'm built. I have to be in a relationship with a woman. I just have to. I can't stand. I just love them so much, and I like how they smell, and how they taste, and how they feel, and I love to bring flowers and the kisses. I have to have it. So it's really weird because I was in nonstop relationships since '78. So I was in 3 relationships, long-term relationships. So I hadn't been single since '78. So I got that relationship. I thought I wanted to just be single. I wanted to be a playboy and run around. Love walked right up to me, man. And I saw it. I recognized it as the truth.
But love is like dog feces, man. If you look for it, you'll never step in it. But the moment you stop looking, you'll be right into it, man. They don't.
Where do you even get some shit like that? It's
But that's just like. Do you realize they call it fall in love? You don't fall on purpose. A fall is something that happens accidentally. It's not planned. It is usually dangerous. So that's the people who try the hardest to fall in love never fall in love. Love is going to like Mylira said earlier. You got to let life happen. When you let life happen, love will happen. A lot of the times, that's just how it goes. And I love it, man. It's a love is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it's beautiful for everyone else.
It's best in the whole wide world.
But Mike, you're that type of person. I'm an only child with one brother, so I'm cool with being by myself. Listen, you know, and I'm all right with it. I'm a 40-year-old virgin. All of that works for me. I'm fine with being by myself. Y'all can have people.
Right, but see,
So
this is
I know what the monkey is. The monkey is a colloquial term for diseases, Hank. I don't remember when anybody said anything about midgets. Midgets are a blessing to life. Half of a blessing, really.
Well, see, that's the biggest mistake, right? Because what we do is the way we describe love. Here it is, love is this most powerful force, right? That could build you up to be monuments. But the way we describe love, I fell into it, heartache, heartbreak, the way R&B singers sing this song, one of depression. But the way I would describe love is, it's not that you fell into it. It's I leapt into love. I decided to love her, because when you say you fell in love, it gives people the permission to be victims and victimized. But if I decided to love her, then love, that's more of you've owned what you did. So therefore, the relationship has a better and a significant chance of being consistent because you decided to love.
But Van, can I ask you this though?
Please.
Have we ever? And I'm talking in all kinds of relationships, interpersonal, family, familiar relationships, whatever. Have we ever really? And that maybe this is something I need to work on. Have we ever really decided to love somebody? So like I say, even when I get into relationships, I am a fungus. All right. I'm not the kind of man that you walk into a room and a lady's gonna be like, boy, that is a sexy piece of man right there. I want that. But what'll happen to me is she'll be around me long enough that I'll grow on her. And that's why I'm a fungus. I will grow on you. So have we ever just sat there and been like, that's who I love? That's who I love. I'm loving you. Or do you wake up sometime, you be like, you know what? I love this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, whichever way it go. Like, when do is there a conscious moment when we decide to love? Y'all are the professionals. I've never had a conscious moment where I decided to love a woman. It has just been, hey, I love her.
Right. And that's another mistake that society makes, because if I want to be successful in a business, then I have to study all of the parameters, all of the ways that this business cannot go right. So if I'm trying to love someone effectively, then the job is not to study them. I have to study their history. the way the parents love them, the way they were in past relationship, and then I have to make a healthy. But we are so enamored by the physical status, how she look, how his status, that we get caught up and lured away by the ambience rather than the actual individual itself. So, in order for us to be successful, the way you're suggesting is the way we should approach it. You approach it with the understanding is, I know I have something valuable to give, but I have to make sure that this person is worthy and healthy enough to receive what I'm giving. But the problem is we are so caught up with the silhouette that we give our pearls to swines, and then we walk away years later licking our wounds because we never investigated to make sure that this was a healthy place in order to set my flag.
Bacon is delicious, though, man.
Why are you describing me like this so clearly? That people don't need to know all this about me. This is really great stuff. We have time for one last question. I don't see. Should I pull one or make one up, or what should we do? I want one more question in there, y'all. Say that, Van. Somebody said, "Say that, Van." Look beyond the outer to view of a person.
Yeah.
He said, okay, go ahead.
I was going to ask a question. Both of y'all, we've said this before, and I just kind of wanted y'all to illuminate on it. What do you think? What do you think is the importance of being able to love yourself first? And I ain't talking about physical love, but what do you think is the most important part of loving yourself first before getting in a relationship? I don't think anybody's going to come into a relationship 100% right, and I think sometimes you need somebody to help you. But what is the importance, and at what level do you need to be in loving yourself before entering into a relationship?
Yeah, I'll let Mylira go first, please.
Well, hopefully you guys can hear me well, but what I would say is self-love, it starts because you have to mirror. The relationship is going to be a mirror. And if I don't know my value and my worth, again, it's not about loving the outer core of me. Like, that's a piece of it, but I need to know my strengths, my weaknesses. I need to know what I'm bringing to the table. Because I'm big on telling people I don't spend my life with anybody because that comes with a cost. I'm building my life with someone. So I need to know what material I am. You might be the flooring, but I might be the walls. I need to know what I am bringing. So then I also know what parts of me I need someone to help me feel. And it's not that they're filling these voids, but I need to know what strengths you have to cover my weaknesses. So then as I'm learning your weaknesses, I can now bring my strengths to this. So that's where the self-love comes in at, is that I know it's two wholes coming together. It's not two halves.
Two holes.
And even if
whoa, wait a minute. It's what?
Two holes?
Holes.
L-E.
Okay. All right. I didn't know
what
relationship this is slid over to. All right, go ahead.
Yes.
I like two holes coming together. It's beautiful.
No. Two holes that come together that is now building something beautiful. And once you know what your piece is that you bring, it makes the relationship more sustainable.
Right.
Wow.
So beautifully said. Because think about this. Your single time, your alone time will determine the success in your relationship, simply because if I love being alone with me, then I will be a celebration with someone else. But if I despise my alone time, I'm so insecure about myself that I always want to be with someone else. Then I'm going to become a parasite for that individual because I'm merging lives with them simply to feel a sense of significance. But if I love me and I value me and I've studied all the traumas and all of the mistakes I've been through and I work on self-development of me, then all I could be is a benefit to someone else. I want to say to the viewers watching, when people say, I love you, don't get all fuzzy inside. Ask them a question. I like the fact that you love me, but do you love you? See, if you loved you, then what you're giving me is something valuable. But if you're saying you love me and you don't even love yourself, you're giving me something that you don't even want. So
wow.
Create your self-love.
Wow.
Remember, the Bible says, the Bible says, it says now this, love thy neighbor as to the same degree as thyself. So it means that I have to love me first. Then I can love my neighbor.
Mm.
But we go the opposite. We love the neighbor and we have no evidence of self-love.
Hey guys, we're all out of time. We can go on and on and on with this. I need to get both of y'all on one of the podcasts though, just on relationships again, because this is very good, very rich talk. Thank you. Hey, tell us how we can find you guys and what you're doing. Let's start with Van this time. Van, what tell me about you. What can we find?
You can find me on all in social platforms, Mr. Van Brown. And then I also have my website, vanbrown.com. My book, Love Symptoms, is on Amazon and is doing amazing. And it details all of this relationships and how can we get to a place of truth and not emotion. So thank you so much for having me.
All right, so grateful to have you, brother. Tell us how we can find you and what's going on. Wait, did you tell us where we can find you at, though?
Yes, Mr. Van Brown on all platforms.
Mr. Van Brown.
Instagram, and then my website is vanbrown.com.
So as you can see, I don't listen to shit. I asked and I go do something else. And I come back, you already answered the question. Oh, my God. And this your page. Your page is up.
Yes.
There you go. You should have way more followers. You're sharp, brother. Oh, I'm liking this suit, the briefcase. Come on, player.
Thank you.
You know what you're doing. Before you discover the one, first find you. I like that. Mylira Green, tell us what's coming up and how we can find you. And don't leave yet, man, because we got to do a woo in a minute. All right, go ahead.
Absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram at Mylira Transforms. On Facebook, it's just Mylira Green. And my website is www.myliratransforms.com. And as we were talking about self-love, I do have The Art of Just Being Me on Amazon that does walk you through the steps to love who you are before you can be in a relationship. And the thing I'm up to is just whatever God gives me, y'all. I'm just out here trying to save some lives. So when I die, suicide die with me.
Come on. I love that. I love you, sister. Thank you. All right, there's your page. Awesome page, too. I really like these in the chair. How y'all kick back and everything. That them purple. Oh, yeah. Go on with the green. You better, miss. Come on, Mylira. You take the green to the next level. What? Okay. Look at you, fashion plate. Thank you both for coming. I love what y'all bring to the table. Please leave us with a woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
Come on, Van. You got it in you.
Woo.
There you go. Give it up, y'all. That's Van Brown and Mylira Green, two amazing people in the relationship segment of the Michael Coylar Morning Show. I'm going to catch y'all on the rebound. Have a good weekend, guys. All right, look, I'm going to do a prayer quickly. Because that Angela waiting, she got food back there, y'all. You and the culinary kisses are coming. And people keep saying, Jeff,